Hey, so today's class is called "That's Offensive!" Exclamation point, and we're going to talk about some things that we're just going to explore what is and is not offensive. And so, first, I want to say this: just a couple things about me. I'm this person who, kind of growing up, I was just that person that lots of people made fun of. Not in a mean way, but just in a way. I was the person, like that person in a friend group that people could tease, and I could really take it, and I would make fun of myself, and it's all good. And so I kind of grew up with this sense of just this just so nothing really bothered me. Everything is just like it's like I'm a duck in the water. The offensive water or whatever just sort of rolls off my feathers, and so I don't have a really good barometer of what is and is not offensive. So I'm really exploring. This is an exploration for all of us today. So that's the first thing that I would say. The second thing is that I'm just an inherently really curious person. So, like little kids sometimes will ask really awkward questions. Like, when I used to have long hair and with my earrings, sometimes I'd be in situations and little kids who are like 3 years old or 4 years old would say to their parents, "Hey, that's why does that man have earrings, or why does that woman have a beard, or whatever," right? Something like that. And for me, the parents would always be mortified or whatever, and I didn't care. And I don't care. Why would I care? So in any case, plus this class has always been about sort of pushing up against, um, because I'm just inherently curious, right? The things that might other people might be kind of afraid to ask about or talk about. I'm not like I just want to know, and so I. So this class has always kind of been built around that. And so at one point in time, about 10 years ago, we were doing this television show for PBS, and then it was going to air on the World Channel. We never did all this series. We recorded 6 times, but we ended up doing the pilot for it. It was called, and the title was called "You Can't Say That." And it was because it's just about me always saying stuff that no one is really supposed to say. And so we do all this stuff in class with students and so on, kind of like here, just kind of diving right into it. And in the show, actually, we ended up only doing finalizing the first of a 6-part series, and it won an Emmy Award, actually. So that was kind of cool. There it is. You can't say that. Yeah, there I am. That's what I wore. I actually wore a tie for it. This is when I was asking this woman if we were talking about sperm donors, and like I was asking her, like, would you use a sperm donor if you had to? And she said, yeah. And I was saying, well, how about, would it matter like who the race of the sperm donor was? Like, the background of it? And she's like, no, man, because of course that's the answer. And so I picked that guy out of the class. I said, how about this guy? Like, he could donate sperm. Like, what about him? Like, look at him. And so it was like just a lot of stuff like that, right? So we did a lot of this was a section when these 2 women were picking out which of those guys was the most handsome, right? So anyway, it was like just a lot of fun. So that's where we are. And that's where this class comes from. So it's just really quite an exploration. Hey, so with that in mind, let's bring in, I think, Desiree and Olivia. So why don't you turn? Oh wait, first off, we're going to do Top Hat. It's coming up in 30 seconds. It's going to be rolling right up on Top Hat, but in the meantime, Desiree and Olivia, you can turn your cameras on and your mics on, and we'll rock and roll. So, yeah. Oh, hang on. Hey, hold on 1 second, the 2 of you. Make sure you answer the Top Hat, by the way. Yeah. All right, there you are. Rock on. All right, so hey, how's it going? And you can unmute, by the way. We're ready. Hey, so Olivia, what's your major?
RHS, it's Rehab and Human Services.
Yeah, what drew you to that?
So I was originally kines because I thought I could do PT, and I quickly realized I couldn't. But
Yeah.
I just want to do something where I can like really help people, like whether it's through mental health, counseling, something like that. So this was like the
Uh-huh.
best major for that.
Hey, I think we're still streaming. We're having some internet issues at the moment. Computers have just crashed, so we're gonna deal with it in a second.
Yeah.
He's back.
All right, we're back in the
Yeah, you're
game.
back on.
Okay, man. Uh are we good? Okay, you can bring Desiree and Olivia back in. All right. Olivia and Desiree, hold tight if you can hear me. All right, there we go. You can unmute your mics. Um, hey, sorry about that. The Wi-Fi just crashed in Pond Building, so you know how it is, right? Technology. So, hey, so and Desiree, you are Jewish and Persian.
Yeah.
So, what's his family history?
Both of my parents are from Iran, and then they both came here. My mom came here when she was around like 20-ish, and
Mm-hmm.
then my dad came here when he was like 17 or 18.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I was born in New York.
And so, and they are both Jewish, I'm
Yeah, they're both
assuming.
Jewish.
Because I
And
mean,
then
if they both came here, like from Iran and they're Persian, they're probably,
yeah, they met through like their parents. So
Yeah.
that's how, because the town I live in is like a Persian Jewish community. So
Yeah, very cool.
so everyone here is just
Yeah,
like,
very cool. There's actually quite a thriving Jewish community in Iran, strangely enough.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really goes back. It's really, really old community. So,
Mhm.
hey, so here's my question for the two of you. Tell me something that you just find really offensive. That's really offensive to you personally. Not, like not out in the world, just to you personally, like in your world.
I guess I would have to say there's lots that I find offensive, but like not towards me. Like I think like obviously racist things and things towards like the LGBTQ community, but that doesn't really apply to me. But I guess things like offensive towards women, I guess like in the workforce and just in general, there's a lot of things that like you have to worry about that some men don't have to worry about. So I guess
So but is that annoying or offensive? And maybe what's the difference?
Probably more annoying, just because it's like, I shouldn't like have to always like be worried when you're walking your car, or like just things that you do that you don't even think it's like common. Like I know all my friends do it, but like my guy friends wouldn't even think about it. So that's actually annoying, not offensive. Offensive, I don't know, I have to think about it.
So think about your major, for example, and the things that you're working with and so on. And then while you're thinking about that, Desiree, how about you?
I was gonna go like more on like simpler terms. Like the first thing that popped into my head was like when people comment on like my weight or something like that, like something as simple as that.
So something that's like for you, it's
Yeah,
like
more of
that's
like,
really personal.
yeah.
How about related to being Jewish? Do you have anything that's like,
I mean, I've never really experienced like anything like that, mostly because I've been surrounded by like a Jewish community like my whole life. But um I've like heard like stuff on the media, like especially like over the summer, like with like a lot of like the shootings that would happen in like the synagogues, and like making like banners and posters like calling us like names, and kind of like bringing back like the Holocaust and like the Nazi symbols. Like it kind of gets to a point where it's like, it's offensive, and it's wrong. Like what's the point of making the banner? Like you're just making yourself look stupid at that point, you know? I don't
hmm
know.
and do you remember who taught you what was offensive or what's offensive?
I mean, you mean like being Jewish? Like,
Yeah, let's just stick with that for a second. So that was last class. Let's just sort of hold that.
okay.
Like, do you remember when you first were taught about what is and is not offensive? And
Um, I mean, like in school we would learn like, oh, like don't call like this, like don't call people this, don't call people that, like always be nice, kind of like that aspect. But it was mostly like in school where I would learn stuff, and then also obviously growing up, like my parents would kind of just like, like
so
tell me.
so in school you would learn like it's almost like a checklist of different things that
Yeah.
are and are not
And like
offensive.
obviously like being punished if you do something wrong, or if like you offend someone, or if you're mean to someone, you know.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right. Hey, Desiree, how about, or Olivia, coming back to you? Did you come up with something that's offensive?
Yeah, I guess. Okay, I can be kind of an airhead sometimes, but it gets kind of offensive because it's always like people like continuously call me like dumb or something, or something else people say. Like my major, the classes are kind of easy, and a lot of people like are like, oh, that's so easy. They kind of like downplay it and make it seem like it's like not as serious as other majors. So that's
Okay, so something about like so you're in this major that like every major is difficult in its own way, right? I mean, obviously, there are a lot of people who might really excel at, let's say, at math, who would not excel at your major, right? Like
yeah,
you have to have a social intelligence to do well in your major. Okay, so when people say that you feel
yeah,
that's on the lines of being offensive.
because it's like not science and math, so people think it's like a breeze.
Is that something that just comes from deep within you, or is it something that other people talk about?
I
Because
think a lot.
I'm asking because I'm just really curious about like how we learn what is and isn't offensive, right?
Well, kind of like what Desiree was saying too. Like you just like learn things that you should and shouldn't say as you grow up, and like from your peers and your friends, like they'll tell you like, hey, you shouldn't say that. But a lot of people who are in like what people think is an easier major often hear like people kind of like downplay it and make it seem like they don't do any work. That's not just.
Okay, so let me ask the two of you, as young women, right? So what do you find as offensive and pertaining to both of you being women?
I would say how people like you'll often like you're say you're walking in the store and people like shout things at you. I mean, it happens a lot of times like younger girls if you're just walking down the street, or like people like yell inappropriate things at you, and I think that's offensive.
Hmm. And an example of an inappropriate thing would be
Catcalling.
Yeah.
like catcalling. So and what is it about that? So again, imagine that I'm just not even part of this culture. Okay. So like this is just we're what we're doing right now is very much an exploration. Okay. So this isn't about, oh, Sam should know this or doesn't. Just imagine I don't know anything about anything. So what is it about catcalling that is actually offensive?
It just makes you feel uncomfortable. Like it makes you feel like you're like someone's looking at you in like an objectifying way. And it
And
and
what
it
it
and it
okay.
starts to make you feel like for me, like I know when I go to a certain part of my town, I tend like a lot, like not just me, like a lot of girls I know tend to get catcalled around there, or like get like uncomfortable stares and like weird stares, like you feel uncomfortable and you don't feel safe at some points. So
Mhm.
like
Okay.
it gets to the
Okay.
point where like I'm being catcalled because like I'm a woman, like that's not fair.
Okay. Olivia, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I kind of think it's like respect thing too. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but the other way around, it's not like women go around doing that. Like there's a lot of times, not just me, it has happened to me, but like also my friends, like you don't even feel comfortable at work. Like you will get people who are way older than you and just say inappropriate things to you, like where you work, and it's just out of line. You can't even do basic things.
And it's out of line because it's inappropriate. And what makes it inappropriate?
The things, there's a lot of times it's people who are way older, which I like find inappropriate. Like that just
Like,
makes
you mean people like my age?
like grown men often. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, seriously? Who
Yeah.
say like inappropriate things, meaning things that are out of context and things that are directed toward your personal, something about you as a person.
Yeah. And like I've even been like touched before at work. I work at a store. So like even stuff like
Okay.
that, it's just like out of line. You shouldn't touch
Okay.
anybody.
So there's like, on one hand, there's this just what is generally speaking offensive, just annoying and offensive. It's like, come on, right? Talk about your weight or something like that. As Desiree, I think you said something, right? But there's the other thing where it actually goes into a certain personal space that you feel actually threatened in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's beyond offensive. That's actually a kind of a threatening posture of
Mm-hmm.
that. Where did you learn, like, I don't know, it's like, um, there's like a fine line between, and so that's a separate thing. So I'm going to set that aside, right? All of, I mean, do you feel like, is there a sense that like you as individuals should be able to, or do define for yourselves what is and is not offensive? Like, are you defining for yourself what is offensive to you, or are you following the group around you?
I think both.
I
You
mean,
can-
I think sorry.
No, you can go. You're
Oh,
good.
okay. So I think there are like certain things that like
Okay. All right, hang on. All right. All right, I'm going. All right, we'll keep going. Hey, so just Twitch went down, so we're like working on this. So are you so people, do you get the sense that people in your generation are really making decisions for themselves about, yeah, I don't know, just like what is and is, how they're defining these things? Like,
I feel like now like a lot of people our age are kind of defining things that are bad like based on like what other people think or like the experiences that other people have. And like I feel like having more connections like social media and stuff and like hearing about things kind of like puts a label on like what's bad and what's good. So like if someone hasn't experienced something bad before, but someone else has, like they might be like, oh my God, that's such a bad thing. Like I hope that doesn't happen to me.
Or it may be like, hey, that happened to me and I didn't find it offensive. But
Yeah.
these people now are telling me that it's offensive. Maybe what happened to me was actually offensive, and I should have been offended by that thing that somebody said about my hair or something, right?
I've seen like aspects that kind of like outline what you just said. Like they don't realize until after it happened.
So then the question would be, so if that happens, Olivia, if something happens to you and you didn't really have a problem with it, but someone later tells you that that's a problem and you should be offended by that, is that like, are you following other people or are you thinking for yourself? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I guess it kind of depends on the situation. I'd have to be in it, but I think I would follow what other people say, because this generation, like our generation, is more like putting their foot down, and like for like my grandparents like would say things that would never fly now that they used to be able to. So I'm just saying, like, our generation is finding a lot more stuff offensive, and I guess I would follow it.
So it's kind of following, meaning that, and I'm not saying like, I'm not even critiquing that. I'm just speaking sociologically speaking, right? All of us are taking our cues from people around us. So I think what one of you said is like, yeah, if you're on social media, you're seeing all of this stuff out there. People are talking about what isn't offensive all the time. And so you're like, if you're drinking that in, then you're taking in lots of different ideas from lots of people. And then, this is what we do. This is how we learn a language, right? We immerse ourselves in a language. This is how you learn a religion, right? We immerse ourselves in it and we take it on the thinking of people around us. And then that thinking becomes our thinking. So if you know what I mean? I mean, that's just kind of how life is. So, how often do you question about the things that you find offensive or problematic, and maybe they really aren't? Maybe it's just you following other people. How often do you question that?
I feel like I've like definitely like questioned that before, and I've like felt, and I've like gone back and forth between like, is this actually like a thing that I should like really worry about, or maybe like it's something that I didn't really second guess, and I'm like, oh, like it is something that I should take seriously. But I feel like it's like hard to really tell now, because like we're so wrapped up in like kind of labeling what's good and what's bad, and we're not kind of thinking for ourselves like what's good and bad for us.
Yeah, and let's be clear, you're also thinking for yourselves, right? But I mean, we all do this, right?
Yeah, of course.
But still, you are all immersed in social media, and like definitions of what is and isn't offensive are coming at you every single day. Like, oh my God, right? So how do we even know what we think about anything? Olivia, do you have anything to add to that yourself?
Like going with what you said about social media, I feel like it does like take over. Like you kind of lose what you think of yourself and just join in what everyone else is saying, like, is offensive. It's so much that like you can't even.
So let me ask you this: like in rehab, you're in rehab rehabilitation services, right? Yeah. What's like a word so you're going to work with a lot of people with disabilities.
Yes.
What's a word that like you would find offensive?
One thing that I learned is that you can't say disabled people. That's offensive. You need to say people with disabilities.
And I didn't. Go ahead. Yeah.
I never knew that until I took the class. Like I would say like, oh, there's a disabled person, but that's like a big no in that major.
People with disabilities.
It's called person first language.
So they have socialized you into how to be in the major and how to be in the field. But of course, once you get out in the field, 10 years from now, that'll change.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be somewhere and you'll use people with disabilities, and someone will be offended by that because there's a new word out there.
Yeah.
You're ready for that, right?
Because I totally understand that that's definitely going to happen.
Can you, Desiree, can you say the word handicapped? Do you know?
Like, what do you mean?
Do people use the word handicapped? If you use the word handicapped in a setting with lots of people with disabilities, would people be offended by that? Do you know?
I feel like they wouldn't, but
How about crippled?
yeah, I feel like that's like just like a slang term that like shouldn't really be used.
How about intellectual disabilities? If somebody said retarded, is that offensive?
I think so, but I feel like it's offensive only because so many people have been overusing it and just like redefining that word, you know?
Uh-huh. Okay. So Olivia, is handicap offensive?
No, it's more acceptable than crippled. Crippled's a no.
Yeah, cripple's a no. And the R word is a no too.
Yeah, a big no.
Like, unless you're using it for like talking about brakes on your truck or something, right? We have brake retarders.
Mhm.
Yeah. So when I used to be the faculty advisor to the Rutgers handicap student organization, and we were called the Handicapables. And then at some point in time, people came along and said, "Hey, you can't use the word." But everybody in the organization said, "But we use the word. That's the name of our organization." You know what I mean? We're all people in wheelchairs and people who are with all sorts of wide range of disabilities. So it was really fascinating. Yeah. Well, okay. People with disabilities, not disabled people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like people of color and not colored people.
Yeah, I even wrote about that in one of the packbacks because I learned it from my class.
All right. Okay. Well, listen, awesome. Thanks. And again, I want to emphasize that this is just an exploration class, right? We're kind of walking through. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's just like, here it is. Like, let's talk about it. And I think that, what's happening with this generation now is actually really fascinating for me as a sociologist. And I'm lucky that I get to interact with so many people and from so many backgrounds that I'm learning new languages all the time. Whereas lots of other people, they're like trying to always catch up with what the new wording is and the new ways to talk about things. But I don't. I get access to stuff. So awesome. Thanks, you all. Yeah. Wait. One final question. Desiree, was there anything I said in class on Tuesday that was offensive that I said about Jewish people?
No.
All right. Okay. All right. Good. All right. We'll see you. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, so so Brian and James, why don't you, if the two of you can come on? This is really fascinating for me, y'all. Right? I'm utterly. I find it really, really interesting. So we'll bring you up on this. Nish and Jeff will bring you up on the screen in a second. But hey, maybe Jeff, can you or Nish, before they come on, can you put that quote up? So, gentlemen, I want to talk about this. It's interesting. I want to talk about this new Coca-Cola this thing that just came out. So Coke is doing this diversity training for all of its just people at Coke, right? And someone just leaked this thing that one of the slides was be less white, okay? And I think it was be less white, right? Is that it? Yeah, I think basically be less white. And so what it was on the slide was to be less white is to be less oppressive, less arrogant, less certain, less defensive, less ignorant, be more humble, listen, believe, break with party, and break with white solidarity. Okay? So be less white, gentlemen. So what I want you to do, I want to talk about this with you too, right? So if you Jeff and Nish, if you can bring them on the screen. And bro, so Brian, where are you from?
I'm from like Bucks County.
Bucks County?
Yeah.
All right, man. And James, and Brian, I have a really interesting question for you, but James, where are you from?
Outside of Pittsburgh.
Dude, all right, man. So listen, what do you guys think about that? Be two white men. Be less white, gentlemen. Like let's look at this whole thing, right? Be less oppressive, be less arrogant, be less certain of yourselves, right? Be less defensive and be less ignorant. And God damn it, be more humble, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? and like don't be all solidified with your other white people, man. So anyway, what do you think about that?
Like, I think, it's more or less just recognizing the advantages you have in life, whatever that may be, and not thinking yourself superior because of that.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. That's a nice. That's by the way, that's a nice liberal answer, my friend. That's an awesome answer, man. Brian, what white? Let me just ask you this, Brian. What white people would find that offensive?
Conservatives, I guess.
What would they find offensive about it?
I mean, I think there's a point there that they're trying to say, but I think it's might be a little too far. I think people would think of it like that. I don't know if anyone would read it and be like, it's like offensive, but I don't know.
Well, what's the point that it's trying to say?
It's trying to. I feel like it's trying to so there's I don't know. I don't know how to say. I don't want to get canceled, so I'm trying to be careful what I say. I feel like it's
don't get whatever you do. Don't get canceled, man.
Yeah,
don't get canceled.
I'm not thinking it like that. I'm just saying there's a stereotype that white people if you look at history, white people have been like mean to other races.
No, white people have been we're oppressors.
Yes.
Arrogant, really confident or certain, defensive and dumb. White people are dumb, right? That's a message. White people are dumb. That is a key message right there. Do you find that personally do you find that a little bit offensive?
I think I think it's a little too far, kind of, because not everyone's like that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm like that, but some people are, and it has to be said for the people that the minority that is bad people. I feel like.
I think white people are dumb, but I think all people are dumb, and because white people tend to be the ones in the driver's seats more often than none, they're up for more criticism.
Dude, you're one of those people, man. All right. But wait, you're the one. Are you the guy with the cat? Or was that Nick? Or that? No,
I do have a cat, but I wasn't the cat you saw.
All right. Cool. Listen, man, let me ask you this question. Dude, first off, Brian, your family owns a funeral home, right?
Yeah.
Give me a joke that I could make about funeral homes, about you and your family that you'd find annoying.
I find annoying?
Yeah, you'd find offensive. Because I can think of a lot of things I could say, oh, your family owns a funeral home, yuck, 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 and then I just start talking about shit,
I mean, I guess the only thing is people have a stereotype that funeral home, funeral people, people that run the funeral home, just try to rip off families and charge as much money as they can to make profit off a funeral. But my stepdad's the one that's he runs it, he owns it. And my mom's a owner as well. And they're not like that. They're not stingy people. My stepdad really cares about his job and loves what he does and loves helping families. Yeah. So when people say a joke like that, then I'll be it's not how the person I know, he's not like that.
Okay, I got you. All right. But how about jokes about dead bodies? Is that
he makes them all the time.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. All right. And James, you're doing Teach for America in Baltimore next year?
Correct. Yep.
So how are you doing any kind of crash course? How are you as a white guy? Are you comfortable around black and brown people, or how comfortable are you around black and brown people?
I feel pretty comfortable. I did 6 years in the National Guard, so going through boot camp, you're with people from every background around the country, so I do feel pretty comfortable.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah, that really matters, right? So when you were with people, what did you learn in those 6 years in boot camp? What are the kinds of things that you were learning?
You learn that people are all people. They have their own little cultural niches here and there, but for the most part, people are just people.
And so therefore did you learn about how much did you learn about the idiosyncrasies of different groups? Like,
yeah, no, that was,
go ahead.
That was definitely important. I mean, one thing in the military is they try to make everybody on equal playing fields, but it's impossible to get rid of all those little idiosyncrasies that we build up over time. So you definitely have to learn to kind of navigate and speak to people based off of how they're comfortable speaking.
Okay, so now I want to go back. So, and when you're thinking about doing TFA in Baltimore, which is, like 70% Black in Baltimore, right? If you're in the city itself, the inner city part, you're like, okay, I got this, right?
I mean, I'm not going into it being like, I'm just going to go in there and everything's going to be hunky-dory. I know there's going to be a definite learning, curve there, but I'm ready.
Yeah, ready to go for it?
Yeah.
All right, so listen, let me ask the two of you, what is a caricature of white people? Just a caricature, right? So you think about caricature, thinking about you got to pick one part of either people's physical bodies or their sociology, their culture or something that you can really focus on and illuminate, that everyone will know that's the group you're talking about, okay? So what's a caricature of white men that you just find annoying? Anything at all, man. You won't get canceled by this, Brian, either. So don't worry about that.
I don't know. I feel like a beer belly, maybe.
Okay. All right. So something about so how would white people, if you were going to depict white people, all white men, what would you dress them in?
Maybe a suit, maybe a guy in a suit, maybe little overweight.
All right. James, how about you, man?
Yeah, probably a dress shirt, little overweight. I don't know, maybe something like you, except not overweight.
Yeah, dude, look at me right here. All right. So how about but what are some things that people can say about white people that you would actually find offensive? Let's just do that. White men, just white men, because you guys are both white men. So what are some things that people would say about white men that you just find maybe annoying?
I do find it annoying that there's just a blatant assumption that everything we earn is because of, the color of our skin. I know it's definitely part of it, but I know it's not everything. So, that blanket assumption can sometimes be a bit annoying. But okay. I guess one of the better things to be annoyed about.
Well, okay, but no, go ahead. So, right, people make comments about that. Okay, white power, right? You just assume you got all this power and that you're using it or whatever. Brian, how about you?
I agree with that. I've been told by friends in high school that I'd be fine in life because I'm tall and white. That always got me annoyed because I want to work for what I get, and what James said, I understand that white privilege is a thing, but I want to work for what I earn and not just have it be given to me because I'm white.
Dude, listen, man, things are just going to be given to you because of your killer hair, man. You know what I mean? So forget about being white and being tall. It'd be dude, awesome hair. Here, have $1,000, whatever. Okay, so one of the things stereotype is that people just white people, we just get stuff because we're white and because in your case tall, white, whatever the case is, right? Mm-hmm. What? Yeah. Anything else? Do you guys ever talk about that with your friends? Or how often do you talk about it? I should say.
It's probably my first time talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about it. I mean, I can be a bit zany and a little nerdy sometimes. So it's that white nerdy guy can sometimes, be a stereotype that's applied to me. But I don't necessarily find it offensive.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you. Well, I mean, it's like me. I was saying at the beginning of class, like we get teased a lot by lots of different people, and so did my friends, and I know. But yeah, it is funny that there are these stereotypes. Well, if we go back to the Coke thing, right? White people are oppressors. There's a stereotype. It's like we're all oppressors. Like who the fuck who have you guys oppressed today?
Maybe my cat.
I haven't oppressed anyone today.
Are you sure of that, dude? You're breathing. I mean, you're breathing, right? Your heart is beating. Have you left your house today?
Yes.
Okay, so you may have oppressed somebody. And how in what ways today have you demonstrated your ignorance about being white? Because you haven't demonstrated it here. You've both followed. Okay, if I'm thinking about the liberal social justice community, you all have followed the script quite well. As two white men, you've basically kind of said, yeah, we get this and so on. So you haven't demonstrated any ignorance here at all in this class. But have you demonstrated your ignorance that's endemic, it's organic to you being white men, that you're ignorant? Have you demonstrated that out in the world today when you left your apartments?
I mean, like, I drove to the gym today, so it's like I definitely was not worried in the slightest about getting pulled over, even though I was speeding. And I walked in and I expected, some sort of cardio machine to be open. And so I guess I definitely had certain, expectations.
Okay, so we could say that you were kind of certain, you were pretty certain that you weren't get pulled over, and you were, okay, I got that, whatever. Like, all right. Brian, how about you, man?
I mean, I drove to the gym too today, so it's like that. And then I went downtown and got food, and I ordered everything. There's no issues or anything. They just gave me my food. So I guess that.
Did you guys just expect that everything would work out well for you today?
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on it not to.
Dude, well, okay, there you go. Then maybe that's part of what I'm thinking about Pepsi or Coke, what they're saying, and maybe that's part of what they're talking about. Like that maybe us as white men need to just acknowledge more how easy life is for us, right? Maybe that's part of it. It's just like acknowledge how easy it is for us. And in a way, if you think about it, so now I'm going to actually speak more, that in a way, that's kind of what that Coca-Cola thing is getting at. It's really asking white people, hey, can you just acknowledge in some kinds of ways, like, I don't know, life, like, yeah, just like that you as white people in a white dominant culture just have a different experience than other people, just like us as men. Like the two women who were on the screen when they're talking about people making catcalls and stuff, or I think I said this in class the other day, right? When I'm walking across campus at night, I don't have to think about being attacked, right? If I'm walking down Fraternity Row on the weekend at night, believe me, I think about getting attacked because they're all sorts of drunk undergraduate men exuding their macho bullshit, right? But I don't worry about it walking across class or walking across campus. So there's that. Maybe part of what Coca-Cola is kind of getting at there is just acknowledging some of that. And you guys acknowledged it. So like, awesome, man. You won't get canceled. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that said it in like a small manner, people wouldn't respond to it. But when you make a headline like that, that's when people respond to it.
Well, it's also it's good that we have these things that are out there, but it's also important to push back against them. That's the conversation that, that I was having with Olivia and Desiree, right? It's also good that we push back against it a little bit and question it, All right, man. Anything else to add? Brian, I'm going to ask you, how many times have people asked you, when did you see your first dead body?
I've gotten that a lot, yeah.
All right, I won't ask you then. But I will tell you, mine was I was 9.5. It was my father, right? So, yeah.
Honestly, mine was probably around then, too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I never, like, I don't do anything. Like, when I work, I literally just stand there, like, at the door, and, like, I'll give out, like, prayer cards to families, like, greet them, like, say hi.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
I don't do anything like that.
Well, just so you know, so my mother-in-law died, 5 weeks ago, the first week of the semester, and we basically had a home funeral for her. Like, we brought the casket to my in-laws' house, and my wife took care of her body. My wife and her sister took care of her body themselves. We didn't need. She wasn't embalmed, and we didn't need dry ice or anything. And then we, put her body in the casket, and the casket was in the living room. It was actually really, really, really nice. And then from there we went directly to the cemetery. So, hey, that's more than you needed to know, but I'll put it out there because it was really awesome. The experience, not her dying, but okay, gentlemen, thank you. Thanks for being a part of it. And yeah, thanks. This is just it's an interesting conversation. All right, be well. Hey, so can we bring, who do we have? Nick and Jackson? Why don't you guys come on? Let's just go in a different. Hey, team, how we doing, man? All right, awesome, man. All right, you can bring them on the screen because I don't have anything to say except I'm just going to sit here and drink my water. So, gentlemen, nice to see you. Right? Wait, so Nick, dude, I forgot to ask. You're out, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know how to ask. Like, what am I going to do? I'm assuming you are because you said you. All right. Like, that's some way. I'll bring you onto the live stream. Like, hey, dude, you're out, right?
I mean, it could have been a gift. It could have been a gift.
Dude, it was. I've outed. Listen, man, I have a couple stories. I outed Jeff in class because Jeff before class. I always tell this story. It's a really funny story. Jeff, right? I outed you. And he, after his first, I don't know. I heard him talking after class, and he was just talking. He was just so open about. Just about being gay, and I just assumed oh, this he's totally out. So then he volunteered for something on like the second day of class. And so I'm like, dude, so you're out, right? He's like, I am now. Yeah. So that was like wild. But also I have another story that's actually pretty intense. I outed a woman in class years ago and she was really pissed at me. And, I didn't know that she was gay. I didn't know. And she thought I knew, and she thought I should have known that she was gay. And I really did not. And I'm just like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I did not know you were gay. But this was like 20 years ago. And it was very different than today. Right. But it turns out that her coming out in class was such a big deal to another student in class that student asked a friend, because she was so blown away, but this woman would talk about being gay in class that this other woman went talked to her friend who she thought was gay, but never talked about it. And her friend was actually definitively contemplating committing suicide that weekend. Like she was really she had everything planned out. But because of that intervention, because of me outing her and then her talking to her friend, it's like she saved her life, basically. It was really, I don't give myself credit for that. It was just like an accident. So it goes from what you said, it could have been a good thing, right? So it's all good.
That's crazy.
Dude, and Jackson, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Where are you?
I'm in State College. I'm from Washington, Pennsylvania, which is south of Pittsburgh, like 20 miles.
Ah, yeah, Washington. Yeah, I know that. And Nick, where are you from?
I'm from Huntington, the next town over.
All right. Okay, cool, man. So listen, so I'm going to start with you, Nick. Like, what's the most offensive thing in your world? What's the most offensive thing that somebody can say?
I mean, to me personally, faggot. I can't stand that word. and I know different people have different stances on it, and some people say it's like a whole other reclaiming thing, that like it's our word. But to me, I'm like, that is not my word. I don't like it at all. Like to me, it's just one of those words. It's like there's no place.
And there's no place, meaning like you never want to hear it under any circumstance.
No, I don't like it.
Unless you say it, which like you just did. You said it, but normally you wouldn't say it, right? You said it here.
Yeah, no.
Do you ever say like the F word? Like you wouldn't say the word, you yourself would say, yeah, the F word. I don't like that word.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I just abbreviate it.
Okay, I got you. Okay. Well, how do you respond when you hear it?
If it's one of my friends or something and they would say it, like even jokingly, like I'll tell them. I'll just be like, hey, I don't care for that. Like and so like I've had conversations with my friends that say the same thing, like, oh, well, like I don't mean it. I'm like, yeah, I get you don't mean it, but like at the same time, like just use a different word. I'd rather you call me gay or something than just say that.
Or call me Nick.
Yeah, Nick works too.
Yeah, so when people say they don't mean it, what do you think they're actually saying?
Oh, like they don't mean like the harsh connotation that it comes with, that they're kind of dismissing that part of it.
What do they mean? Like, what do you think they mean if they don't mean that?
I think they just try and use it as a word to like I don't know, like get closer or like relate or something like that. And it's like, I don't relate with that.
Uh-huh. So do you use queer? Is that in your lexicon?
Yeah.
So you grew up around queer, using queer probably.
No. Actually, where I'm from, gay was a bad word. We use the word fruity where I'm from.
Dude, from Huntington. Man, you guys are like from the 1960s, man.
And that was rural, growing up with my family and stuff that did not want to talk about it at all. So up until pretty much college, I thought gay was a bad word.
So when did you come out?
I tried in 11th grade and then that didn't really work. So like I kind of just let it go and then actually did it freshman year of college.
Uh-huh. All right, cool. So it's kind of, what year are you now?
I'm a senior.
Dude, okay, got you. So yeah, this is like a huge thing. So you being on the live stream and basically saying to the world, like, yeah, I'm gay. Like is that on a scale of 1 to 10? Is that a?
It's not. It's weird because it's like I'm not someone that's super public about it. Like I just don't care enough to feel like I have to tell anyone. Yeah. So this is weird, but like I don't care.
Yep, I got you. Yeah, I got you. It's like talking about things that you wouldn't like talk. You know what I mean? It's like whatever. It's like talking about the fact that you wear glasses or you have AirPods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so Jackson, how about you, man? What's like the most offensive thing in your world?
See, I don't feel like I get offended by much. If anything, like if someone called me a hypocrite, I'd be kind of most offended. But that's about it. Like I don't really get offended by what other people have to say about me. It's like my own opinion. You know what I mean?
So you have dyslexia though, right?
Yeah, I do.
What about that? Like, could I make a dyslexic joke? And
yeah, you could, but like it's true. Like a lot of the things, like I know I can't read or spell as well as other people, but like I'm excelled further than most people. Like I'm really good at math. I'm in engineering, so that maybe that is a reason why I'm so good at math. I don't know.
So because you're good at math,
well, it's like everyone has what they're good at and what they're not good at,
Right. Like, so you have this. Oh no, go ahead.
If a blind, like most blind people can hear way better than the average person. Like that's how I feel it is with dyslexia, right? I can't read as well as someone else, but I might be way more inclined in other areas.
So do your friends ever? Do they ever make jokes about it?
Yeah, every once in a while.
No, hang on. You're a guy. So the question is, how often do they make jokes about it?
Oh, great. If I misspell stuff, it's almost intimate that it's coming out, man. Like anytime I misspell anything in a group chat, like I always get worried that they might say it, but like I don't really care. Like I didn't know I had dyslexia till my 11th grade in high school. So I like
Yeah.
dealt with it my entire life and had no idea. So like I feel like I'm not very hinged by it as much as other people.
Uh-huh. What about so that's huh. No, I mean I'm fine. I find it really interesting. So if I were speaking with the president of the Dyslexia Foundation of America, right? What do you think they would say about what like offensive things?
They might say it's more offensive than I do, but like I said earlier, like I don't get offended by much. Like I guess what, I'd be more offended by the person it's coming from. Like if it came from a loved one, then I'd be more offended than if it came from like my friend or some random person from class or whatever.
Yeah. Do you have any friends who are gay?
I have family friends.
Hang on, bro. You have friends who are gay. Mm-hmm. Do you have friends who you know are gay? Right.
Yeah, I have a family friend that is out. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you ever talk to them about?
He's older. He went to college with my parents. So, I mean, I've not really talked to him about it, but I know when I'm around them, like I can't say certain stuff that I might be allowed to say in my own household or whatever.
Like what?
I mean, behind the curtain, some people always talk. Like, I guess me and my mom have stipulations on who in my friend group might or may not be gay, right? But like we don't say that to their face. We just like say it behind the back, right? So like I would never say anything like that to someone that I know may or may not be.
Because like
it might offend them. Yeah, it would probably offend them, and I don't want to offend someone.
Dude, let's ask a gay person right here, Nick. What did anyone ever did people used to ask you if you were gay?
Thinking about it, maybe like once, and that's about it.
So how about this? Back when you were not out, if Jackson had been your high school friend and he asked you if you were gay, would you have been offended, or how would you have felt about that?
I probably would have been a little offended just because of the circles that I like hung out with in high school. Because like back then when I wasn't so sure of myself, I'd have probably been like, "What are you trying to say?" But my hopeful answer is that I would just been like, "No," and just like it wouldn't have offended me.
So Nick, can you, Nick Jackson, just don't listen. Take your headphones off really fast. All right, really fast. Okay, Nick, ask Jackson if he's gay. All right.
Okay.
All right, put him back on. Jackson, Nick has a question for you, man.
Okay.
So, like, are you gay?
No. I would say no. I'm pretty positive that I'm not gay. Yeah. I mean, I've never really thought about it because it's never really crossed my mind. But.
Dude, so in other words, you might be.
I guess I am certain. Like I have a girlfriend. Like I don't know.
Dude, Nick.
But like I said, my family friend.
Dude, Nick went to his senior prom, man. So I know that.
My family friend is actually pretty like devastating. He almost married a woman, but he just couldn't do it, and it was pretty hard on her and him.
Yeah, well, I don't know, Nick. Well, here's my question, Jackson. Are you offended by Nick asking you that?
No.
All right.
Probably not. No.
Well, all right. Maybe, Nick. What do you think about that? People, like, what do you think about Jackson saying, "I don't want to ask because I might offend somebody"? Like,
see, I feel like it's more offensive to ask someone like a super like virile straight man if they're gay and like they'll get offended. But like if you were to ask someone that's kind of just like, I don't know, I feel like if you just ask someone that's just like normal or like not normal in that sense, but like if you just ask someone that's kind of like me in the sense like I'm nothing special, like I'm just a person. Like if you were to ask me, even if I wasn't gay, I feel like I just like no. But I feel like people, like a lot of people get the stigma that they have to be not gay like they have to prove that they are not gay.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And then somehow if you ask them, they're offended. But what would be offensive about, so Jackson, let me ask you this, right? What would be offensive about asking someone who's gay if they're gay when they're not gay? Like, what would be offensive about that?
Sorry, I had to turn off my phone. I was getting a phone call.
So
but
what would be offensive if you ask someone if they're gay and they're not gay? What would actually be offensive about that?
I mean, I could be like, people don't. I guess I'm like imposing like what I see in them, and it's probably not nice to say stuff like that. And it's probably like, because I see this certain characteristic that is commonly associated, which probably shouldn't be, it might offend them.
But dude, okay, well, hang on. Well, we're going to really unpack this for a second. Most people who are gay, you have no idea they're gay.
Yeah, I would agree.
We'll start right there. Okay, so let's move. Now, if that's the case, then what would you be? There might be any number of reasons why you just would ask someone, "Hey, are you gay?" Are you like?
I mean, you don't go around asking people like, do they like women? I feel like it's the same thing. Like, I wouldn't go around asking people, like, no one goes around asking people if they have dyslexia. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, people don't ask questions like that.
Dude, awesome point. Yep. Nick, you got anything to add to this conversation here, pal?
Yeah, see, I totally agree with that. It's just one of those things that's hard for me to even think about, because like, I just don't care that much. Like, for me, it's, if you're gay, then, and you want people to know, then you'll let them know. And if you don't want people to know, then okay, I'm not going to ask you.
So for me, as someone, who's a I'm around, I navigate these waters a lot, right? Because, as a person who's, I get to know thousands of students, and people are navigating their lives, their personal lives. They're just like you, Nick, right? Coming up to college, and like now you're navigating the waters. And so I find myself in situations, because like, say it was 119 and we're doing lots of activities, I'm always like asking people questions. But otherwise, out in the world, I don't just ask people. Like, it doesn't really matter one way or another. But then sometimes people will drop little hints, and then I'll be like, oh, okay. Then I want to let them know that I know that, my neighbor has a husband, right? And then I'm like, okay, I want to let you know that. And so that then we're on the same wavelength and so on. Yeah. Dude. Okay. So Nick or Jackson, man, do you ever use the F word?
I would say I'd probably use it more than I should. Yeah.
All right, Nick, do you want to say anything to Nick about that, pal?
You mean me? You want me to say?
Yeah, Jackson. Yeah, Jackson. Nick, Jackson uses the F word more than he should. Jackson.
I mean, I probably can work on it. I guess from where I'm from, it's like my friend group that I like associated with back in high school, we would use it all the time as a joke, but like, I can understand now. I went to a predominantly like non-diverse area high school, so I can see how it could be offensive now coming to State College and stuff.
Well, except in that non-diverse area, you had the same percentage of queer people as every other area. So, hey, Nick, do you have anything you would say to Jackson about that?
I would just say too, so Jackson, I feel like we came from really similar areas. Like, there was one gay kid in my high school. Like, that's it. Like, and I knew he was gay. And so I kind of used him like to survey myself. And I was like, okay, like, I was kind of getting cues from him about what I should do or like how I should go about it. But I agree with you that being from that area, I definitely said that when I was in high school. I used that word in high school too, because it's just a term of endearment kind of in that sense. But like, after I became more aware and I started getting more into like gay politics and stuff like that, you can ask even Niche, my best friend, she kind of got me into things like that as I came to Penn State, and we talked about it. And it's funny that I just started learning about things, and I started picking it up that that it's not okay. It's and I can understand that people use it as a term of endearment too, but yeah, it's just one of those things that you learn that it's just like why it got to be that.
Wait, that's cool. Wait, Niche, our Niche is your friend?
Yes,
Niche,
Yeah.
you got to come on the screen, dog. Wait, come on, put Niche on really fast.
I literally can't put her on to the camera because she's the one
Oh,
who's
all
in
right,
control
okay.
of the cameras.
All right, well, she
However-
can't come on, but
However, we
Yeah.
do have a question.
go ahead, man.
Nick, what do you think of when you hear masculine male equals straight, feminine male equals gay?
See, and that's another one of those things that I have a problem with. Because even within the gay community, there's just that dichotomy of the feminine one is like the more gay one, and the masculine one is the more straight one. But like, I have literally seen couples that are completely different. Just like me and my boyfriend, we're like both just equally both. Like we don't. Go ahead.
Go ahead, keep going.
Like we're equally both. Like, I mean, it's not saying that someone that's gay has to be feminine or like masculinity is like straight. I mean, I would love for masculine men, like straight men, if that's what we're trying to say, masculine men to show more of their feminine side. Through that, we can get more vulnerability out of them, and they can start living their lives instead of trying to be cooped up all the time.
Dude, yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And I think that, so by the way, that's a cool question, Jeff. Thanks, man. We're going to come back to this, but on another class. But Jackson, you said something here, right, that I want to go back to. You said I could probably use that word less. And what I want to say is, no, you could definitely use that word less. You could never use it. You just have to decide. Like, do you ever? Go ahead.
That's what I was saying. I was just saying, like,
okay,
yeah, you probably, I don't know. I should say I should, or I am going to, right?
Yeah. Like for example, this is what's interesting, right? Like if we were talking about the N-bomb, the N word, you wouldn't say, as a white guy, you would never admit, in this class anyway, that I use the word, I probably should use it less. Right.
Yeah, I would never. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the F word is like, it hasn't reached that status of the N word, but it's it's getting there. I mean it's getting there, right? Hey, gentlemen, thanks for the conversation. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yep. Thanks for having us on,
dude. And by the way, Jackson, are you from a small town?
I mean, I graduated like 250, I think, from my high school. So,
because Nick, are you actually from Huntington itself or outside of Huntington?
Southern Huntington.
Damn, dude, what a little town?
Oh, very little.
Dude, oh my God, right? Okay, but you had Juniata College at least, so that was like the big city in Juniata.
Well, I live 40 minutes outside of Huntington, so.
Oh, damn, dude! Oh my God.
So I live in Huntington because that's where I'm from, but I don't live anywhere near it. I graduated with like 99 people. School district next to mine graduated a class of 30.
Oh, damn! All right, dude. Well, welcome to the big city of State College, man. All right. See you, gentlemen. We're putting up Top Hat right now. So, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for the conversation. Really appreciate it. Hey, Top Hat is going up, and we only have a couple minutes left. Delaney, you got to just pop your camera on. We want to meet your cat. We'll bring you back on at another point, but.
Yeah, I've been on before, so it's all right. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. Can you show us your cat though?
Yeah, right after I click on this Top Hat.
All right, man. Like, Tanya, who is in Germany last class, they have these really cute bunnies that she but she didn't show them on the screen, man. Like I was so annoyed, right? Wait, Delaney, you're the dude who had the dog, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of animals here. We have.
Well, show us one of them, man.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I have 2 cats. They're actually my cats.
One.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we're just like waiting to finish class. Hey, class, I think we'll take an angle on this. We were gonna do another. I had another case study, and dude, awesome, man. It's a shadow. What's his name? Her name. Wait, you gotta put your headphones on. Yeah, dude. Oh, damn, he's got like a whole zoo.
And this is Sheldon.
Look at that. Oh, yeah, very cool. Cool cats, man. What are their names?
The black one is Leonard, and the gray one is Sheldon.
Leonard and Sheldon.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch it all the time.
All right, so listen, man. We'll bring you back on at another point. You were on the other day, but we'll bring you back on. Okay. Hey, listen, class. It's 4:20, the magical hour. So we will. Tuesday's class is going to be a really cool class. We have a couple guests coming in, and then we're going to have at least one student from class will be on as well. Really, it's an important class. We're really looking forward to it. And have a what's that? No class next Thursday, and top hat. Make sure you did the top hat. I'm sure you all did that. Is it still up or is it down? And dialogues, man. Get your dialogues in. And tryouts. Oh my God, there's too much. All right. Listen, you're going to be getting emails about tryouts for World in Conversation facilitators for the students next semester who facilitate dialogues and who will be for the Social 19 class. So just be on the lookout for that if you are interested. I think we got a lot of cool people. And Black people volunteers. Come on, man. Let's go. I want to do a couple of things that it just involves me having a few more. We have some names, but it's like nice to have a pool.
No, we don't have any names. We have one person.
Damn, dogs. What's up, Black people?
Everybody else has already been on. We don't have no names.
Dog. All right, man. All right, y'all. We'll see you. Have a good weekend.